Only in New York. Mike, thank you very much. Now an update from the PIX 11 news desk. New terror fears mean new terror hearings. A Senate committee will be holding hearings on railroad security. There is heightened concern after documents discovered during the raid on Osama bin Laden's compound indicated possible attacks on trains. Police in Elizabeth, New Jersey are looking for a suspected drunk driver who was involved in a police chase that led to this, what looked like a demolition derby. The driver ran into 3 people outside of a bar and hit several parked cars before abandoning his vehicle. One of the police cars that took off after the suspect jumped a curb and ran into a cast iron fence. The officers were trapped inside, but we learned tonight, though they suffered serious injuries, those injuries are not considered life-threatening. A serial sexual predator who cops say preyed on women on the Lower East Side is in custody tonight. 20-year-old Joseph Kirandongo from the Bronx was busted today and charged with attempted rape, assault, and committing a criminal sex act after cops linked him to a pair of attacks on teenage girls. The most recent was last month.
I'm so glad that they got him. I mean, I'm not directly from this area right here, but I shop here, Pathmark and everything, but my daughter goes to school right here to Henry Street, so I'm glad that they got him. Thank God.
Investigators say Kirandongo followed his victims into apartment building elevators and took out a knife. They say a 19-year-old victim was sexually assaulted, but a 17-year-old girl was able to fight him off. Cops have caught 2 people they say were ripping off cell phones and more from people on the number 1 train. They say 20-year-old Ronald Pinnock and 22-year-old Anthony Rivera targeted strap hangers since mid-April. 2 of their alleged victims were teenagers. Nobody got hurt. Now, we'll look at what's happening across the country as well as overseas. In Texas, a bill requiring doctors to conduct a sonogram at least 24 hours before performing an abortion is on the verge of becoming law. Doctors would be mandated to provide the woman with the opportunity to see the sonogram and hear the fetal heartbeat. The physician would also be required to describe what the image shows, including arms and legs and internal organs. Governor Rick Perry is expected to sign that proposal. In Kansas, a 7-year-old boy is recovering from his injuries after being attacked by a leopard at a zoo. The boy climbed over a guardrail and got too close to the animal's cage.
Just really reached out and grabbed him by his head and then clawed him. A man and a woman who were standing there watching, they jumped up through there and kicked him in his head, and he released the child, and they just grabbed him and put pressure on his side of his face where he clawed him in his head.
Zoo officials say that boy had deep scratches on his face and his neck as well. Thousands are scrambling for higher ground along the Mississippi River. Others are stuffing sandbags, hoping to stop the water. The river is expected to crest about 14 feet above flood level next Wednesday. Flooding has reached levels in some areas not seen in almost 100 years. And that brings us to number 11, and 11 is weather. Let's check in with Lisa Mateo.